Have you ever had a child lash out at you when you've asked them to do something that, to you at least, seemed like a completely reasonable request? If you've ever had this experience, you know it can be more than just a little bit frustrating, and sometimes you don't quite know what to do next in order to diffuse the situation. When approaching children's challenging behaviors like lashing out at others, it's important to understand that these responses may be the result of an automatic biological stress response to sensing a threat. And children who experience high levels of stress or trauma in their young lives are more likely to respond in these ways. Essentially, children's red alert alarm starts blaring and their basic fight, flee, or freeze responses kick in and take over. And in some cases, children will act out in response to feeling threatened, not unlike the Klingons of Star Trek lore, who were way more likely to fight to the death than approach something in a calm, cool, and collected manner. And we as adults need to understand that though these behaviors make children really difficult to work with and relate to, that their responses are coming from a place of stress and not malice. And by connecting with children through relationship-based approaches that are sensitive to their experiences, we can help children feel safe and begin to develop better coping skills for when things get hard. By doing this, we're offering our help and giving children the tools they need to build their resilience or their capacity to respond to and bounce back from difficult situations. So, how does this work in action? My colleague Tracy Schreifels and I are going to walk you through a role-play example of a child who acts out in response to transition in the early care environment, and we're going to show you some relationship-based therapeutic techniques that you can use to help diffuse, redirect, and prevent these kinds of behaviors. In this scenario, Tracy is talking with the child, played here by 14-year-old Jenna, about transitioning to group time from individual playtime. In the past, she would sometimes shut down but would remain quiet and in the back of the group. But this past week has shown an escalation in her behaviors, as each time Jenna has faced this transition, she has reacted by getting aggressive. So let's take a closer look.
Jenna, it's cleanup time. We sang the song and now it's time to clean up. It's time to put the blocks away. Friends, it's time to clean up. Yep, thank you for putting blocks away. Jenna, I see you're still playing. I need you to put the blocks away.
No, I won't clean up.
It's time to clean up. We need to put the blocks away.
You may be able to tell from Jenna's initial body language here that she's a little upset and pretty resistant to putting the blocks away. And you can see that when Tracy asks Jenna to put the blocks away, Jenna raises her voice and moves her arm as if to throw a block at Tracy. So when you get to this point with a child, you can't rewind it and try it again. You have to move forward. So how do you do that productively? We'll watch here as Tracy focuses on the relationship first as a way to diffuse the tense situation and move forward.
I see you're getting upset. Let's take a deep breath. Good work. All right. There's a lot of blocks out, aren't there? I bet you're feeling a little overwhelmed. So how about if I help you? I'll take care of the yellow ones and you take care of the blue ones and we'll work together. Does that sound good? Okay, thank you.
So you can see here that Tracy gets down on Jenna's level, lowers her voice, and tries to connect with where Jenna is emotionally first, rather than immediately reinforcing the rules. She focuses on the relationship first to bring Jenna down from her peak of anger, then offers her help, and they put the blocks away together. Now, let's say through the power of movie magic, or by going through a wormhole that causes a Groundhog Day-like time loop, we could go back in time and try it all differently. So this time we see Tracy approach the situation a little bit differently before we hit the Red Alert battle stations phase.
I've noticed that cleanup time has really been difficult for Jenna lately, especially this past week. I wonder if I could try to do it differently. We have about 3 more minutes till cleanup time. I think I'm going to go over and try talking to her. It's going to be cleanup time pretty soon. I wanted to come and let you know so that we could help your body get ready for the transition. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple minutes and then we'll start cleaning up. All right. All right, Jenna, it's cleanup time. Wow, what have you been building over here?
I made a jail.
You made a jail?
Mean people go there and then they come back and then they're scary.
So the mean people go to jail, but then they get back out and they're scary. That sounds really scary. Yeah. It looks like you've built this wall up so you can feel safe. Yeah. I wonder if we can work together to get these blocks put away. And if we get it done nice and quick, you can help me pick out the book for group time. Would you like to help me with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to knock it down or should we just take it apart? Whoa, you exploded it. Nice work. How about if I start with the blue ones and you start with the yellow ones?
So, as you can see, when we're working with children who have experienced a lot of trauma and stress, there are lots of different relationship-based kinds of techniques that you can use to really help diffuse the situation and help things go more smoothly. I'm wondering if you can reflect a little bit on the situation with the blocks and the transition from one activity to another. What do you think's going on there?
Sometimes with kids who act out during transitions, sometimes it's because the work that they're doing is really fun and they don't want to stop. Sometimes it's because they're acting out something traumatic related, kind of a trauma-based play that they might be doing. And moving them out of it before they're finished can be really difficult for them to transition out of. I think the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that transitions often remind kids that they're not in control. And if you've had scary things happen or your world has been really unpredictable, you may have developed a strategy of trying to be in control in order to feel safe. And so then when teachers step in and are the boss type of thing, it can be really difficult for kids to handle that.
Well, and in this particular scenario, you saw Jenna use the blocks to kind of build up the walls of the prison to kind of keep herself safe. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about the incarceration piece of that trauma play that we enacted here.
Many kids have experienced a parent either being arrested in the middle of the night or their parent moving to a prison or all of a sudden being out of their life. And it's really confusing for them. They sometimes don't know what it is except for they see it in videos and movies or other people talk about it. And it's really difficult for them to make sense of, but that's my dad or my mom who I love, and how can they be a bad person or how can they have done something bad? And that can be really overwhelming for kids. And in some ways, it's quite an honor if they're sharing it with you, because that means that they feel safe enough with you to share that information.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see other examples of ways to diffuse, redirect, or prevent other kinds of challenging behaviors like shutting down or defiance, you can go to my website, drlangworthy.com, where you'll find lots of different tools you might find useful in working with kids who've experienced stress. While you're over there, you can sign up for our free email list, where you'll get a new strategy every month that you can try out in your work with kids and families, along with some other resources that we think you might find helpful. Over there, you can also find more information about Tracy and about me and the services we offer and how to get in touch. And lastly, thank you for all of your hard work in bettering the lives of children and families.